Oh, we are live. Joe, we're live.
Hey, welcome back.
Thanks, man. Did you do anything while I was gone?
I was up in DC
Yeah?
for a
How's
while.
DC these
Yeah,
days?
it was, it was a little chilly.
Did you see any of
Seen a
your
bit.
buddies in the deep state while you were there?
No, not. After the ones with they put the bag over my head. Oh no, I didn't see any of those guys. No. Oops, let us talk about that.
Probably not. Now they'll be at
No,
your door.
no. I just my daughter was on a trip up north from there to visit some schools with her, both my mom and her grandmother and her mom. So they had a little girl trip, and
Oh, nice.
so I just hung out there and relaxed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
It's
good.
always good. The grandma's taking the daughter's a good thing.
Yeah. No,
Good
they had a
thing.
fun time, and then got back over the weekend, but nothing really exciting. Just more relaxation. Just kind of exhausted.
Yeah. Well, I found out how out of shape I am, so that was fun. I we went up to Steamboat for skiing, and that was awesome. Steamboat's beautiful. It's a great town, a great little ski town, and has a lot to offer. And my daughter's best friend, her family were there. My son get along with their son. They're about the same age, so we had a nice time. We had a really great time. The skiing was friggin' awesome. Had lots of snow, lots and lots of snow, almost too much snow. And then we had 2 free nights at DoubleTree in Vale because DoubleTree had screwed up a reservation. So we drove over to DoubleTree in Vale. I sound like I'm doing an advertisement for DoubleTree, but really not. Um, and went snowmobiling up in the national forest, and that
Oh
was
wow.
frigging awesome. And of course, my wife and daughter love Vale because basically it's a European town slash high end luxury mall in the town. The entire town's basically a mall, right? It's like it's with some $4 million condos. So we're not staying in the town proper, but it's a nice time. It's a nice time to spend time together, and it was fun. We had a good time. So,
Yeah.
but skiing was a blast. It had been a long time for me, about 6 years, and that was I felt every muscle I hadn't felt in a long time. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
that's gonna be one to feel. It's like riding a horseback. You go up there, you're like, how hard could it be?
yeah.
Like 3 days later, you're like, God damn, man.
Well, and it's like I was in this. Where was I? Oh, in the hotel. They had a picture. The theme of design was all these ski related patents, and one of them was the ski boot. And the ski boot and bindings that we use now were invented in like 1923. And if nothing else, they've gotten worse in comfort. Like, I don't understand why they can't get this piece of equipment that causes so many people pain and discomfort while skiing. Why they can't get this shit right? And it's like, it's crazy, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, high class troubles, as my old boss would say. High class problems.
Yeah. Well, at least then you get that 2 to 3 hour workout in, and
Yep.
you can head right into the après ski activity because you probably woke
Yep.
up from your 3 hour nap,
Yep.
did a little downhill, then right in for a little, I don't know, hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps
There
maybe,
you go.
and then you're off
Yep.
to a big dinner.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, my wife is like the ultimate travel planner. So everything is like beautifully organized. She finds the best deals on everything, finds the best restaurants. It's just, I don't have to do a fucking thing except have fun. So
So it's a vacation on a vacation.
exactly. It's a good thing. It's a good
I
thing.
like it.
So, Joe, we got a little run up going here. What the fuck, man? What's going on? What'd you do?
I haven't really been
Would you go
paying
to DC and
attention.
tell everybody to buy? What happened?
I said long, baby, go long. I said that's all I am, long crypto, long crypto. Um, no, look, all the like doom and gloom stuff is sort of like maybe
People are
sideways,
like, fuck it, you
sideways.
think?
I don't know. I think that okay, no World
We're
War
at
Three.
427 right now.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I see a lot of institutional money coming in. I don't know about retail. retail follows, but I don't see maybe the big influx of retail capital. Maybe there will, but to me, it's the big stuff that's coming in. I think that's what's kind of building this up. Word got out about the. You were talking about that, I think, earlier. Yeah, the Terra stuff,
the Luna stuff. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
so Do Kwon, the founder, has decided to back UST with $10 billion in Bitcoin, which is a big ballsy move. And certainly it's a real quandary for the fucking Bitcoiners because they don't want any of those shit coins around their Bitcoin. But you got your peanut butter and my chocolate. So guess what?
Well, it's interesting because of the whole, like the whole dilemma they always talk about USDT. And, is every tether backed by $1? And at first it was like, yeah, of course we are, whatever, yeah. And then it's like, then here comes the commercial paper. Next thing you know, you're all the way down to like, C- Chinese real estate development debt.
Yeah.
Somebody's stamp on it from some bank. And, it just kind of just cascades into nothingness. So
yeah,
to me, I think that's where this is intriguing because it's backing it with BTC, which I would think would make the maxis happy because then everybody else recognize it as the true maxi.
You would think.
Because they're not backing it to physical dollars.
Right.
So to me, I think that's a positive. Maybe that's why more people look at it that way.
Well, I don't know, but look, it's interesting because I haven't climbed into the details of what he's buying, but somebody said that he was actually buying it on Binance and not over the counter. So, and are really tying this pump to all this. Yeah. And you would think the maxis would be happy. I mean, look, whenever I complain, me, I constantly am talking about and tweeting about we've got to get to decentralized stablecoins. We've got to get off the USDC on DeFi and the USDT drugs on CeFi. We got to get off of them because at the end of the day, that is not decentralized. Those are centralized, centrally controlled, backdoor, blacklist capable stablecoins. We got to get off of them. And I get it. Every protocol starts, utilizing USDC in some way because the liquidity's there, right? And that's the game that Circle has played, building it up. But if we don't get off of those, we will never be able to be, truly decentralized. We got a long way to go for decentralization across the board. But, this whole idea of, a huge dependency on something that's completely centralized in these stable coins is dangerous. So every time I tweet about this, somebody will say, because I'll tweet and say, go to Frax, go to something else in terms of the algorithmic stablecoins. And then everyone chimes in, especially my buddies at Young Capital. They'll always chime in and say, don't forget about Terra. Don't forget about, don't forget about that. And so, I'm happy that he's doing it. I think it makes sense. I'm not a maximalist on any stretch of the imagination because I don't believe in maximalism. I think it's stupid. So for me to have a decentralized stablecoin using Bitcoin as the backing, to me, is a dream come true. I think it's beautiful. I love that this is coming full circle and that he's using Bitcoin to back his stablecoin. I think it's brilliant. I've not climbed into the tokenomics of UST. I guess I need to. It's about time, especially if it's impacting price as much as it looks like it could be. But I'm pleased with it.
I wonder if he's allowed to. When I haven't read the covenants, but I'm wondering if you could then like deposit that BTC somewhere and borrow against it.
Sure. I mean, you would
that.
Well, he probably won't though, because he doesn't want to take the chance of having a liquidity event. Yeah. Liquidation happen. I was trying to think. I think he's doing it in like $125 million tranches, but I'm not sure. I know they're over $1 billion already in what they've bought. But anyway, I'm excited about it. The other thing that's been popping up is, and I haven't taken a look at this, I want to see if you had or not. is this Stargate that launched, which is, I believe, part of. I gotta find it. There we go. Is part of
Cosmos.
Cosmos. Is that right? Cosmos? No, I'm not sure. Anyway, Maki from formerly of Sushi is an advisor to Stargate. But I mean, look at this shit. They started out when they launched the other day, March. This is a bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've got all these dexes set up. It's supposed to be a 3-way bridge, and I think the idea is that you can combine buys. But so day one was St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, $25 million sold of their token, right? And then you get to the first TVL notice they come out with, $850 million in TVL in 3 days, and that's my birthday, by the way. So 850 million.
Wait, what day's your birthday?
That March 20th. It's my birthday.
Oh shit, we missed your birthday.
Yeah,
dude.
that's quite all right, dude.
We didn't have a happy birthday on the show?
No, man. It's all good. It's not something I like to bring it up after the fact to make you feel guilty.
It's 60. It's the 61.
No, it was not 60. I am not at 6 yet. Don't do that to me yet. 1 billion in TVL the next day. And where was it? 2 billion by the 24th.
I sort of remember when this was coming out because there was
3 billion by last Saturday.
Because it was being hyped up for a while earlier in the year, not last summer, but maybe last fall.
I don't know.
I remember us talking about it, but like an airdrop was associated with it, maybe.
Omni-chain future, 3.5 billion locked, fully composable liquidity transport protocol that lives at the heart of omni-chain DeFi. Yeah, you're right, Joe. Look at that, man. I thought you were way over 60 for you remembering shit like that.
I know, man.
It's amazing.
Put up some 80s stuff,
Yeah.
ready to rock and roll.
Native assets cross-chain. Yeah. Oh, okay. That was the big deal. The big deal was that assets, there's no more wrapping with this protocol.
You mean hip hop or you mean rap?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no more wrapping with this protocol. So that's what I understood. It's like native asset cross-chain swaps, right? Or bridging or whatever you want to call it, which is pretty impressive. Now, supposedly that's what you get with Thorchain as well. And I don't know if these are connected or not. If anybody is listening, I don't know if we have any comments, people saying anything. Nothing yet. I thought maybe we might have some more people with more expertise in this topic. Probably shouldn't have brought it up till I had it. But I just thought $3 billion in TVL under a week is pretty fucking impressive.
Hell yeah. So they're not like bridging it cross chains, they're just leaving it on chain and kind of sorting an individual ledger per chain.
Yeah, Stargate transfers have instant guaranteed finality. A transfer submitted on the source chain is guaranteed on the destination.
Yeah.
So no more of that waiting and hoping your money got there.
Yeah, it's never a fun thing.
Earn stable coin. They have a stable coin, STG, I guess. You can earn rewards, farming, liquidity providing, earn STG, become a member of the Stargate community, staking, receive VE. Oh, they're doing the VE game, VE STG game. Anyway, we should dive a little more deeply into this and take a look at it. So let's see real quick. Alchemix is cranking, man.
What have they been doing?
I'm so fucking excited about this. This to me is exciting because I had this idea on the plane on the way home. Let me find this shit. First of all, let me just quickly say, did you see the footage of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock last night?
No, I saw a tag somewhere. I just
dude, you missed it. This is like classic fucking television. It was like, what the fuck? But here's the thing, right? Will Smith looks all indignant. I mean, he's all indignant because his wife got mad because she has a hair loss issue, alopecia. It's anyway, it causes hair loss. It's a disease that causes hair loss. Autoimmune disease that causes hair loss, right? So she's very sensitive about it. And Chris Rock had made other jokes about his wife previously in 2016 at the Oscars. And then last night he made a joke about her playing G.I. Jane in the sequel to the G.I. Jane movie that Demi Moore was in. And Chris Rock is laughing. You know, they're on the front row, right? And there's no up in the stage for yesterday. It was like this level thing. So Chris Rock's on the front row and he's laughing. And then you see him look over at Jada and she is fucking pissed. Like you can tell she's like angry and probably hurt. And I don't know if Will was just laughing because that's what a celebrity is required to do when he's being made fun of, you know, and that's just kind of the thing you have to do is look professional. But the next thing you know, man, he is marching across the stage after he looked at Jada and just slaps Chris Rock like pretty freaking hard, right? But the ultimate would have been for me is if Chris Rock had just started running around in circles on the stage and made Will Smith chase him around the stage. That I would have loved to see.
Kind of like Three Stooges or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see.
Oh yeah, that does date you a bit. That doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Well, I think G.I. Jane would date me. So
that was still in color though.
Yeah. So every week they're releasing more pieces of version 2 for Alchemix, right? And they're just cranking. They're getting ready for Phantom. We have a little bit of inside information there that's moving along. But I entered Scoopy and I connected up with some folks in the Phantom world that I know. But this is exciting to me because I was having this idea over the weekend. What if you created, probably shouldn't disclose this, but fuck it. What my original idea was Alchemix is going to add BTC as collateral, right? So, or WPTC, wrapped BTC as collateral. So I was thinking, because I was listening to a podcast with a company called Compass Mining that allows people to fund and leverage their mining equipment, that they take care of everything for you. Compass's mining is like this easy Bitcoin mining system where you go in, you buy a machine, boom, they deploy it for you in like 72 hours and you're up and running and you're mining Bitcoin, and people are making like $20-$30 per day on average on the amount of mining Bitcoin they're mining per machine. And each machine is about 14 grand. So they had this new proposal from this partnership with this company Pipe, where you could finance essentially 2 more machines and pay them off over like a 9 to 12 month period. So they end up having 3 machines mining Bitcoin. You'd still be in the hole a little bit. And it got me thinking, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Why don't I take the equivalent amount of Bitcoin? Let's say I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, right? Well, not a maximalist, a Bitcoin. I want to accumulate Bitcoin, right? What if I took the original amount? Let's say I had enough Bitcoin for 3 machines, right? So instead of doing their financing thing where I'm paying 9 to 10% interest, why don't I just dump that in Alchemix, right? No, why don't I buy them 3 machines and then do their financing, but then as the Bitcoin comes in, dump that into Alchemix, borrow against that and buy more machines and just keep looping it around, right? Like you and I have talked about before. So then Scoopy last night or this morning, I guess I was up, tweets, coming to Alchemix this week, auto leverage migration helper for Lido Finance and STETH and Rocket Pool RETH collateral, right? So we talked about this just before vacation, that Rocket Pool is the decentralized proof of stake thing for Ethereum, and Lido Finance is the biggest one. And there was some issues with how much control Lido Finance has over the proof of stake after the merge and the upgrade. And Rocket Pool is the alternative to that. And I thought, well, shit, if you could theoretically become a miner of Bitcoin, convert the Bitcoins that you earn into proof of stake, take the proof of stake earnings that you get and convert those into Alchemix debt, and then take the Alchemix that you borrow and go buy more mining machines. So essentially, if you're an Ethereum guy, you can be taking Bitcoin mining and turning it into ETH proof of stake mining, so you're earning more ETH. Anyway, I'm excited about what Alchemix is doing. I love this idea of using your staked ETH that's already earning, say, 4% interest. So you're already earning interest in Ethereum because you're staking Ethereum for the proof of stake for the security of the network, and then being able to borrow against that and do more, right? You could loop it a couple of times, take what you get from it, and just do the proof of stake over and over again. But really smart of them to use RETH and STETH as collateral. So they're just cranking. These guys are just cranking.
I like that loop example though, because we always think of it in the context of borrowing and then redepositing and borrowing and redepositing. But I like the idea of like borrowing against BTC to buy the mining rigs.
Yeah.
And then the output BTC used for other products, other ETH type mining things. So I'd like to see the math on that.
I know. That's what I was going to have you do before I brought this up. I don't know why I brought it up today. I guess because I saw the Scoopy tweet, but I think there's some math there to be run, Joe.
Yeah, because it sounds like one of those ones that's, just the more you have in play, value wise, the bigger the returns.
Yeah. Anyway, it was. I think there's some opportunities in there, but I'm excited to see what Alchemix is doing. These guys are just cranking it out. Posted my interview last week with Alex Zvanovic, one of the founders of Nansen on-chain analytics. And, I got to tell you, this was one of my favorite interviews that I've done so far. He and I just really synced up and connected, a lot like you and I do when we're talking through ideas and stuff. And this one went really well. And I had a really nice compliment from Dennis about the interview. Let me see what he said. Hold on a second. It was really nice. I shared that with Alex. He loved it too. So Dennis, thank you so much. Made my day yesterday. If I can just find where Dennis's comment was. Here it is. Dennis wrote, so I'm going to pat myself on the back a little, Joe. Wow, bar has been raised for the ideal interaction between host and guest discussions. Think I have listened to 1,000 plus podcasts at this point, and this was outstanding. Great example of how conversations flow seamlessly when like-minded spirits discuss their passions. A+++. And I really felt like that about that interview. That was one of those interviews, when you just kind of hit it off with somebody the first time you're talking to them. That's really how this interview felt. So, but I think what's more important here is there's a couple of things for people to know, especially the people in our community that are investors, right? And we have a lot of kind of degen investor types. This is a tool, and I used it as one of the excerpts I put out on Twitter yesterday. This is a tool that there are major, big institutional VC investor groups that do not make an investment without tracking the on-chain analytics data that Nansen provides, right? So they label wallets. We talked about this before the break, but they label wallets, and they know which wallets are, have the best performance, which wallets do well investing in NFTs, which wallets do well investing in tokens and pools and DeFi. So Nansen provides you that dashboard. Well, like the day after I put the episode out, it used to be for Nansen, you couldn't even get access to like the basic stuff except for their public boards. At the day after I put the episode out, they released a new free user that allows you to get some fairly limited, but still more in-depth access to get a try and a feel for the platform that, really can show you. So like you can see when what hot DeFi contracts are happening, what tokens are the most active. And then you can also see, and they base that on the labels, what they call smart money, the smart money investors that are in the platform. So I would encourage everyone to go give it a shot, get the free account, and then you can do a 7-day trial for $9. But the other thing that I think was really important, if anybody out there is thinking about starting a business, starting a startup, starting in crypto, the story of how they got to where they are now, which is a massive player in the space, and they are a widely used data play, how they got there, how they built the company, their approach to people, their approach to profits and revenue, and how they approach everything. It's a really good story, and he gives a lot of great lessons in the interview. So encourage everybody to go take a listen to that or watch it. He's an excellent guy, and I'm excited that we have a good relationship with him now. Let's see, Joe. What else I got here today?
I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things here.
I see that. Okay, let's see. I've got.
That's your tweet still.
Did we talk about? Hold on. Oh, I don't think I talked about this. 21st of March. No, I was away. Let's open this up. So this was an interesting little tool I found called Coin Exams. And I read through their scoring mechanism for this, but this is essentially ratings of coins and their blockchain that they're associated with, right? But if you, it's interesting to look at their scoring mechanisms, right? So they're very much based on decentralization. Let me get down to the bottom where they tell, and you can actually build out your own portfolio here, and of things you're holding or buying. So the utility score that they use, which is the ultimate score that ranks all these coins, and we'll go back up to them in a minute, is calculated based on the sum of points given for each exam. And the exams are across the top. Fee per transfer, delay speed, traffic, so basically transactions per second, supply, how much is available, is it capped, etc., inflation and issuance, staking, an annual API, how good is it, whether or not smart contracts are available, whether or not there are good retail gateways to it, whether or not you will have your own custody of your wallet, sovereignty, and verified public nodes, and that the nodes, and they score kind of whether or not those nodes are decentralized. So it's based on the sum of points given for each exam. Each coin starts with 10 points, and deductions are made based on each exam result. Low, medium, or high, represented by colors red, yellow, and green, respectively. Low results in 0.5 point deduction, and yellow results in a quarter of a point deduction. The calculation method is updated from time to time based on a number of factors, including addition of more categories, etc. But so here's the thing that's really kind of weird for me is based on kind of these criteria that I just listed out, Algorand has the top utility score in their platform, and BNB is second. And then IOTX, and then fucking Cardano.
Your favorite.
But it seems like a big part of that is the weighting of the number of nodes that a protocol has. Right. So what would be cool is if you could filter this view by taking out or reducing the influence of a given score, right? Because but here's the thing, BNB is number 2, but has only 47 decentralized nodes, but their speed, their transactions per second, the amount of supply known is there, and they have a 0% inflation, right? And they have a higher staking APY. To me, this staking APY, I mean, I think it's important. We all want to make more money from staking these are all proof of stake tokens, I guess. We all want to make more money from staking the token in their network, right? In the native network, to be part of the network and securing the network. But I'm not sure. I guess for what they're trying to say is they're trying to find the network that has, the best combined score across all of these in order to make it. But I'm assuming that a big part of BNB to being number 2 is all the supply is out. The transactions per second is decent. And, the speed is 3. The fees are a little bit higher than the others, but overall it gives it number 2. I haven't looked at IOTX since I think it's been around since 2017, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I remember it being around in 2018 time.
See what happens if I click on it. IOTX has been 2018. The supply of IOTX tokens is limited with about 99.9% currently available at an annual inflation rate of 0.6%. IOTX is centralized with about 72 nodes validating its blockchain, has good blockchain traffic, blah, blah, blah. Atomic, Guarda, and BitKeep wallets do not currently support IOTX. Oh. So I guess they're also grading the wallet and the sovereignty based on these wallets. That's interesting. Anyway, I thought this was just interesting, but what was really interesting to me was, and of course there's freaking Cardano, and it's primarily up because of the number of nodes it has out, which, you can't argue with that part of it. And Algorand as well, right? Like in Algorand, I have some Algorand in my wallet on my phone. And you can just take a couple $100 in there, right? And you can just take it and you're immediately staking in part of the network in the wallet. right? So you're earning more algo at a 10.4% interest rate just for holding it in your wallet and then pushing the button to stake it. So I get that that's like something that's easy and more accessible, and that's why you have a lot more nodes using it. What's interesting though is to get this table of the speed and the fees and the supply all together in one place when you're thinking about what chain coins you're going to invest in, right? So anyway, coinexams.com is the domain, and it's got some good data in there. So, and you can also compare. So you can pick two coins, and oh, look at this, Bitcoin to Cardano. You can compare two coins. Bitcoin only gets, let's see, what does Bitcoin get on their score? Not too biased. It's a 6.25. So they're number 20 on the list of blockchain-based coins. Because of speed, no staking APY, because it's not staking, it's proof of work. So that would knock it down a lot. It'd be very cool if they did this and I could like say, okay, this isn't important to me, but this is, right? And weight them differently.
Yeah.
So anyway, found that tool interesting. Let me see what else I got here. Oh, so this all of a sudden, and I think that because one came out, more came out, but there are all of a sudden DM based, and DM was Facebook's blockchain that they shut down because the SEC said fuck you. So the team from Facebook, from Meta, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that was building DM have all gone off in their own direction and created their own blockchains. So this is one of them that came out last week, Sui. And then another one that came out, I believe it was just the week prior. Let me pull that one up too, which is Aptos. Here we go. So Aptos and Sui. Now, they both use the same smart contract language that Facebook created, which is called Move. But I really think, and interestingly, Aptos has partnered with Binance Labs. Binance Labs is actually providing some funding to Aptos to help grow it, which is, it's interesting to me how often Binance Labs invests in competing products, theoretically competing products, right? But anyway, this Move smart contract language has all these built-in, I started reading through it, has all these built-in capabilities to protect people more on the blockchain, to make it so that a lot of the exploits that happen on Ethereum can't happen on these blockchains. They're all taking a different approach to kind of validation of transactions. They're all taking different approaches to a lot of things, but structurally the core of these blockchains is Diem with Move as the language. And then these scientists have been working for a year or two on their own, creating more different, better models and algorithms around the products. But here's my thinking. They've both had massive money come into them. Both Sui and Aptos have had a ton of money come into them. So I think what's going to happen here we're going to see like these loaded up incentives for projects to deploy there or build there, right? And I'm expecting that we'll see these big funds come in, and then we'll see these massive APYs. And I am determined not to miss out on the next ones. And these are two projects because they come with kind of the VC, the developers behind them that VCs really love. These are the kinds of projects that I think will actually gain some attention and have some potential to make some quick money, right? I don't know how well they'll do long term, but they do sound like they have good bones and that they have some good tech behind them. So, I'm hoping to jump into a couple of these once they start launching protocols on them. Now, Sui did some really cool things. Like they have these demos of utilizing NFTs in games and real-time games that are being used on the blockchain itself already. So they're already kind of out to market with proof of capabilities and seem to be pretty impressive. So anyway, I'm going to take a look at both of these more deeply, but I definitely don't want to miss out on the rush into those at the beginning again. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. I'm monitoring them, and we'll see what they do.
Hey, have you been doing anything in NFTs yourself? Like on
I haven't done anything NFTs in a while. Have you?
Yeah. No, I was just curious about Sear Light if those prices were still holding up.
I haven't
And
even
if you,
looked at that. I don't think so. I think I have alerts
yeah,
set, but um, no, I haven't done a lot with NFTs lately. I
yeah,
have
I got to
not.
go in and look at prices. I haven't looked at prices in a lot of stuff lately.
I've been a little gun shy on NFTs lately.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's when it comes back, it comes back.
Yeah,
But we need the other stuff to come back first.
exactly. All right, let me see what else. If I had anything else. Da, da, da. Oh, there's some news out that Olympus DAO is doing a vote to participate in something called Barachain. So Olympus DAO would take 2% of the total token supply for Barachain. Barachain is an EVM equivalent, an IBC. So that's Polkadot, right? IBC. Connected L1 chain that implements a novel proof of liquidity consensus mechanism that systematically ensures the creation of liquidity as a core primitive required for block production. So yet again, another new chain coming out, and looks like Olympus DAO is considering an investment there. So that's interesting. Joe, go ahead.
I was going to ask any. I know your favorite topic. Any like. I know you did your rage quit function on Wonderland. Has there been any more after brief on that post the tax?
I haven't. I haven't seen. I think there was a massive amount that came out. I think there was a massive amount of selling. I don't know what the final outcome of that was, but I'll take a look at it. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what, because I saw something. So Cronje being mentioned somewhere, an article about maybe DeFi guys aren't really gone for sure or something.
That's interesting.
So, but anyhow, yeah, we'll be more higher energy tomorrow. Get back into the daily swing of things. I kind of took a break.
This is Fetch, and I've seen FET before, but had a 40% gain. But it's a protocol focused on building decentralized machine learning network. Went up over 40% after major funding. So this is another one that may be a good FET. Fetch underscore AI on Twitter, fetch.ai on the web. And frankly, I remember 2018, a lot of talk about, decentralized machine learning and artificial intelligence. And I just kind of fucking laughed all those off because I didn't think we were quite there yet. This one is definitely, I think definitely has potential now. I think we're at a state with machine learning, and somebody who's been working on this since September of 2017, that this has a ton of potential. So I definitely am interested in this. I really truly believe that inflationary pressure, higher wages, the massive, what do they call it? The Great Resignation, are going to push more and more corporations into machine learning and artificial intelligence, and any protocol that's providing that ability. Any manufacturers in the regular corporate world that are providing robotics are all things I think are important, because I think a lot of companies, especially, things like fast food restaurants and those kinds of things, are all going to be looking at ways to automate away employees. And so I think that these protocols have a ton of potential for the future. And these could be more kind of longer term fundamentals investments. But I love a protocol that's been building something like this since 2017. So another one I definitely want to take another in-depth look at. Joe?
Yeah, that sounds fascinating. No, I mean, seriously.
Like
no, I was just thinking about how, we try to pick something, and I was trying to think of what I was feeling like, say, when Netscape went public and things like that around different tech. And I was thinking about all the times when it was really successful and then the times where it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like how many times have we heard Internet of Things?
Of course.
I mean, Y2K, I guess that was successful. A lot of money was spent.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like we only remember the ones that we were right on.
Yeah.
We never remember the ones we were wrong on, or maybe it's the whole accurate process of everybody making guesses. But it is fun to try to sort of pick the future.
Yeah. Well, and I think those things are going to be important. It's funny. I remember a debate I had when I designed a product in 1997. Worked for a company in the tech space that did had two primary product lines: was accounting for photocopies and faxing, and a big part of their market was law firms, right? And this is one of those examples of me kind of getting ahead of where the market was, but we decided to build internally a product for attorneys that would allow them to browse the web and track their research time when they were like on legal research stuff, and assign it to clients, because we already had access to their client data because our system's connected to their time tracking databases. So we built this thing, and when we were designing it, it was actually one of the first browsers that had tabs, multiple windows you could have open. And when we were designing it, we had to make a decision between utilizing the browser engine from Netscape or using the browser engine from Microsoft. I guess this was 98 at the development stage. And I told my friend Steve, who's also one of my business partners, I told him we had to go with Microsoft. And he said, "But dude, you're such a purist about internet technologies, et cetera, et cetera." I said, "Well, Microsoft's going to win the browser wars. And we might as well use their engine and their developer tools, which make it shit ton easier for us to develop our own browser, our own browsed browser, than use Netscape, because I think Microsoft's going to beat Netscape." So long story short, those are one of those few predictions that actually worked out and make me look like I was brilliant. But there are plenty of those in my career that were not even close to fruition. So when you were talking about that, it just reminded me of those days in .com of trying to predict what was going to be next and what things were going to catch. Books were not selling books online. I did not jump on, unfortunately. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember when what was the one in DC? It was called Varsity Books, and it was about sending out all the school books online. But you had to build all this shipping capacity and server capacity for basically a couple of days a year and maintain that capacity. So it was one of these ones: could you sustain the model? And so they, like all the early e-commerce, it was all about free shipping. So when you look at, like, when I look at some of the crypto models now and emissions and things, and I think about, what you got instead of that in .com is, you got the free shipping.
yeah,
You've got a lot of things that were, like even the internet connections were subsidized. So a lot of stuff was basically put in play for the market to go make a ton of mistakes.
Yep.
So when I look at stuff like that, and I was laughing because you threw out Microsoft, which was kind of like the big player then. And think about the companies that we didn't talk about. We didn't really talk about Amazon or Google or Facebook. They weren't around then. And now they're the ones that they're the post.com companies.
Yep.
So, this is kind of what I think when you see what's happening now, to me, that what it looks like in 10 years is nothing like what we think it's going to look like. It doesn't mean better. It doesn't mean worse. It just means probably different.
Yeah.
But it'll be something that will just be as ubiquitous and easy to use that we wouldn't even think about it.
Yep.
So
I agree. James Strickland has a question for you. I'm going to put it on the screen for you.
Oh, I saw the first one on Vegas. No, I didn't get to Vegas. I was in the DC area. So more just chilling out, resting and eating kind of thing.
This is a great thing to remember, James. I was just looking at mine. I've got three. I have 4 claims on. Sorry, not 4. Yeah, 4 claims in wallets of CowSwap. So I'm pretty excited that we're tradable today. I'm afraid it'll be dumped though. So.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, look, I mean, I love CowSwap. I think the folks at Gnosis are brilliant. I interviewed the guy who's building it. I think it's an awesome model. I also think it has a lot of applications in the real world because it dispenses with users having to interact with gas fees, right? You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about what tokens you have in your wallet. It's a smart model. I think they're going to have a dominant place in the ecosystem later on. But with any airdrop, people are going to fucking dump. I'm hoping that in relatively that the average CalSwap user is relatively smarter than the average, PancakeSwap user, and we'll realize the future of the product, because I don't think a lot of people went to CalSwap initially. If you went to CalSwap initially and you didn't understand what they were doing technologically, then it would be a hard thing for you to justify trading on it, right? If you didn't understand MEV, if you didn't understand why it looked like you were actually paying more when you really weren't, because they're optimizing the fees into the trade itself. If you didn't understand that you could use, one coin to pay for everything, then you probably weren't likely to use it. And there's a lot to understand there, which is a problem for the business model. But ultimately, I think this thing that's a single, any token you want for any token you want, if they go cross chain, that thing has a ton of potential, CalSwap, and it protects the user, and it provides an incentive for people to protect their network of users. So I love their model, and I think it's smart, and I'm hoping they optimize the system cross chain, and they potentially could become a gateway for the swap capabilities out to the real world, because it gets rid of all the complications and some of the risk that an average user wouldn't understand when they came in. So.
Yeah, no, I missed the airdrop myself, but
You didn't trade on it? Did you trade on it?
I thought I did, but I guess I didn't trade enough.
No, go check. No, you have to go claim it. So go check your wallets against it.
I will.
Yeah, go to calswap.exchange and check your wallets against it, because I had 4 that I had traded with at different times that had 100 or whatever.
Oh, so some happy hour money.
Yeah. That's one I think I'll hold. It's like a fundamentals play for me. I really like this product. So.
Yeah, I have a hard time on. I was looking at Serum again over on Solana, and thinking about that. How that's one I've always liked, and I've been in and out a few times, and the price is right too. On it, if you're going to bet on something, a DEXy exchange kind of thing, that could be intriguing. CalSwap, I don't remember what the original thing was about CalSwap. Why did everybody like it so much?
So the original idea behind CalSwap, so Gnosis actually came up with the original AMM concept in a blog post a few years ago, and they decided not to go that route because they were worried about front running for miners. And so in the meantime, they said, okay, what can we build? How can we build a swap protocol that avoids that doesn't give the power to the miners, that takes MEV out, miner extracted value, out of the proposition? And so that's why they started building CalSwap. So that was the original concept. The original concept was, you don't have to worry about being front run here, because the first stage of trade on CalSwap is combining people who are seeking the same things on the opposite side of the trade, not like a order book necessarily, but being able to look across trades happening and matching people up algorithmically, right? And so the underlying tech is that people can come in. They created the first set of them, but people can come in that are developers and create algorithms to optimize finding those best deals and matching trades up, or finding the best paths across them. So the first gateway of entry in a trade on CalSwap is the algorithms finding the right matchup, getting the best price that way. And then the second tier is they use 0x protocol, the same protocol that's behind Matcha, to aggregate pricing across all swap engines to be able to find the best price for your trade. So that was the original thing. But what came out of that was, then they realized that because they were using these bots to algorithmically find the best deal, that they didn't have to force people into using Ethereum for gas, right? The initial deployment was on Ethereum. So they didn't have to force people into using Ethereum for gas, and they could bundle it in. So if you wanted to come in and buy a bunch of Alchemix on layer 1 Ethereum, you just had to have USDC or USDT or Frax or whatever it is in your wallet. They take care of everything else, because their bots are actually paying the gas fees anyway. You as a user aren't directly paying the gas fees, right? So I could come in with $1,000 worth of USDC and buy $1,000 worth of Ethereum. The gas prices are taken out of what I buy, but the gas prices are almost always going to be less than what I would pay if I was directly swapping on another chain. When it's not less, they switch you out to 0x protocol, to other swap engines to do it. So that was the original concept behind it, was protection, stopping front running, stopping MEV, and allowing users to easily trade without having to worry about gas fees and gas costs. So, and there's a lot of stuff they're planning to build into it, and I'll refer everybody to my episode interviewing Felix. I believe it's Felix from Gnosis, which is now a separate entity because they've spun CalSwap out as a separate entity. Felix Leupold of Gnosis, episode 13, still very relevant. All about how they built it, why they built it. Alexa's talking to me. Anyway, this goes into a lot of detail about what it is, where they're heading with it, et cetera. And now it's its own entity. And that's why they had the airdrop. For everybody that had used the protocol prior, you could now get the CalSwap token. And that's how I got it.
Alexa's probably thought you said CalSwap, but she probably thought she heard lap dance.
Lap dance, that's it. She's gearing up for it. So anyway, if you had ever used it based on listening to us on the show or whatever, feel free to go make sure you might have some there. Now, the other interesting thing they did, which is really smart, is Gnosis actually has its own blockchain called Gnosis. And so a lot of people that got the drops, my drops, are all on the Gnosis chain, right? And this is supposed to be a high speed, well-developed. And don't forget that Gnosis is the wallet that basically runs all of DeFi for the multi-signature wallets that most of the projects use. That's developed by Gnosis as well. These are high-end, very powerful developers that do a lot of great work for the ecosystem. They have funded with grants a ton of different projects. I've interviewed a couple of different founders that were funded by Gnosis with no equity, no tokens, no nothing. They just gave them money because they thought what they were building was important to DeFi and to the ecosystem. So really awesome. So that's another reason for kind of supporting these platforms, is this is a company that is first and foremost about how can we grow this thing? How can we make it better? I'm sure they all want to make money, but at the same time, they're willing to invest in technologies that will help grow it no matter what. So anyway, keep dropping the coins onto Gnosis blockchain now gets more users taking a look at their blockchain. So I think that was good too.
Yeah, always look for groups that share your values.
There you go. All right, Joe, I'm out of here. Everybody have a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate the time you spend listening to us. We're excited to be back in the saddle and getting after it again. And hope everyone has had a good week while we were away. And appreciate you listening. Please rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts, or subscribe, rate, and review us on YouTube, and click that little bell so you get alerted when we release a new episode or we go live. Thank you so much. If you have any thoughts, comments, or feedback, you can reach me, B05Crypto, on Twitter and on Telegram and on Discord. So thank you very much, Joe. I hope you have a great afternoon.
You too, buddy. And thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.